Speaking of, should we answer some questions from all the fans?
All the famous
Yes.
fans.
Send in your questions.
That's two questions in one.
Well, then
Go
say
on,
it.
yeah.
Okay.
Mate, this
What-
question.
Why is it bad to spend a long time on things and make them perfect? What makes finishing projects good for growth?
Who asked that?
One of our long-time viewers.
Long-time listeners, first-time writer. He knows who he is. He knows who he is.
You know who you
if
are.
you know, you know.
If you know, you know.
One person listening to this, you know who you are.
Perfectionism is a front for not doing jack shit. I'm sorry. I'm just going to say it. Perfectionism is what stops you from achieving your dreams.
I agree.
If you're too perfectionisty about it and your project's never finished, then when is it fucking finished? You're
It's
never
true.
going to do it.
Well, nothing's ever really finished. Also, I heard this story once about Mark Rosnan,
Yeah.
and he's quite a perfectionist. And when they were making Uptown Funk, apparently he used to have panic attacks in the studio.
I relate.
Because he was like, this fucking snare isn't sounding like it should. I don't know what to do. So then he'd just fucking curl up in a ball and cry and shit. I'm like, that's not going to be good. Probably shouldn't be doing that.
Yeah. Like fucking you can't just toil away over tiny minute things. Like I've heard like a lot of people get stuck with like the one song and they're like mixing it down and it's never finished because they've got like an idea in their head and it has to be the perfect idea because they have this idea of like busting out one song and it's perfect and everyone's like fucking oath cunt.
Yeah. But that's the thing.
It's
like,
unrealistic.
You think about some of your favorite songs, right? And for me, a lot of them, like now listening to them with like knowledge about music and mixing and stuff, they're like sometimes there's things I'm like, oh, that could have probably been done a bit better, like in my opinion.
Yeah.
But that's not the point. Like it's about the music. If the mix is okay and it's not like abusing your ears, then like.
And in terms of education, right, you're going to learn about 80% of it at the start. And like barely any of it's going to come from when you're trying to polish that one snare or like fix that one frame.
Yeah. And like the people listening to your music aren't going to be like, oh my God, he didn't EQ that snare well enough. Like,
I have heard people are quite snare critical.
Yeah, but they're probably producers.
No.
Oh.
I watch a couple reactor boys that
Yeah, but they're
react
like
to-
into music.
They know what's up.
They know what they're talking
The
about.
fact that they know what a snare is, I'm already hearing the interviews, you know what I mean?
Like, Tom, you're not like...
Yo.
You like
I'm not
music.
Oh, I've heard of it. I've dabbled in music.
But you're not like, like actively... You know what I mean?
You're not like
Sure,
listening
I
critically.
get you, yes.
Yeah. And like,
I'm not a music snob.
yeah, in that sense.
This
yeah, for
snare
sure.
hurts my ear.
And do you ever... What do you think about this? Coming from someone who's not in that kind of realm.
I don't know. If I listen to a song and it sounds good to me, then it sounds good to me.
Yeah, and that's
I
all...
don't go picking it apart. I just hear it.
And that's who you're making music for, normally.
Yeah, that's what
We
you
should put in our own
Bass.
clapping sound for the next one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the
I
thing
can do
is,
that for the world record. I can clap pretty fast.
mean. Yeah, you can.
also the average listener of songs, that was if you're just listening to this on iTunes, that was Tom vigorously slapping his leg. Okay.
Oh, I thought you were going to say something. Yeah.
Yeah,
Go
exactly.
on,
Okay.
continue, you had a point.
Yeah, if you're the average listener of a track, you probably don't even know what half the instruments or elements are. So it could be compressed to the shit house, and they don't know any better. It's just like, oh, this is a nice song. They're not really critically. They're like, you know what, this makes me feel good. That's all they're doing.
That's me.
I think perfectionism. Oh, I fucking lost it.
I think perfectionism.
Yeah, go on.
Is
No, I was
overrated.
just
You're trying to like jog the
getting
memory.
back into you.
I just think in this case, like you need to just start finishing songs, even if you don't like them. I'm still terrible at this, but like if you start an idea and you kind of like it, just try and finish it, even if you don't like it in the end. But you'll get into the habit of finishing these songs, and you'll get into the habit of just like kind of making them and getting them out. And then you'll get to a point where you make one and you're like, oh, this is actually really good. I'm really happy with this, and now I can actually finish it, and now I can actually put it out. But
Also,
it takes time.
If you toil away over one song forever, I feel like it puts like I feel like it makes songwriting a lot harder.
Yeah.
Like it's almost like you only make one song a year,
Yeah.
and it's like it has to be perfect.
Yeah. Sometimes you just got to let it go too. Like if it's not working out in your mind, just fucking say, all right, that one's done for now. I'll work on something else. And maybe in like 2 or 3 years, you come back to it and be like, oh, I have the energy to deal with this now. Then you can deal with it.
Even if you put it out, it's not the end. You can,
No, you can
remix it.
redo
You can make a different version of it.
Remaster it. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. It's not the be all and end all, you know.
No.
Also, if you're in the first couple of years of making anything, and you're trying to perfect anything, it's only going to slow you down.
Yeah.
And it's only going to
It's going
inhibit
to
your
stop you
education.
from making new ideas too.
But it's also a really good, like, because I listen back to some of my songs, I'm like, oh, I probably could have mixed them a bit better, but it's cool to see, like, where you've started and where you are now. Like,
Well,
it's nice to see your progression.
Finding mistakes in your previous stuff is exciting because you now know you are better than what you were.
Yeah, exactly. That is very true.
Because you're like, oh, I'm at a place now where I can look at that and make it 10 times better.
Yeah.
And then you get a little bit of dopamine.
Yeah, my first EP,
Love that dopamine.
a lot of issues,
Yeah.
but who gives a fuck?
But it's out there.
Well, it's exciting because now you're like, oh, I can... Oh, would you ever do this, right?
So many.
Remake one of the first things you made, but in so it's like playing a game 25 years ago and like remastering it for like the 4K version. You know what I mean? Would you ever do that for your...
I think it's kind of nice to just have it where it is.
Yeah.
Well, like say like I made a music video for one of Aiden's songs, right? It's probably like one of the first things I made. And imagine, you know, in like a year or two remaking that, but with all the techniques I know now.
Yeah.
It would be kind of fun to just like compare the two and just be like, look how far this motherfucker's gone.
That's true. Which one was that?
That was, you know, the little
Stick figure man?
Yeah.
Yeah, right, yeah. I remember that. Yeah, I listened back to that song. I'm like, wow, that was mixed terribly.
Yeah, that's the thing. What you could do is you could make the high res version of that, and I'll make and then you come together and like you make a beast.
That was my Flume ripoff.
That's everyone.
That was my friend's ripoff.
Yeah, well, that's like it's harder to not be like that's a Flume ripoff.
I'll say it.
I'll say it.